I think that internally is not the problem of men appreciating women. I think there's a lot of men in relationships. In your relationship, the man appreciates his wife, his girlfriend. What I see happening is it's the external factors, us comparing everything to social media, to Instagram, to this, comparing our relationship to that relationship. That's where the problem comes in. So it's not enough for just a man to value his woman. The woman wants what everybody else has because they're intoxicated by the external factors. So when you look on a football team, the easiest way to break up a football team or to break up the culture that we talked about earlier, it's to try to convince. And this is why when teams win championships, the players on the team get big heads and it breaks it up because they want to go to other teams, because now other outside teams, external people, are telling those people that are supposed to be on the inside of that core team, hey, you're better than what you're getting paid. You're worth more than, why are they undervaluing you? You should be getting paid more. You should be getting celebrated more. You should be getting more credit for what you're doing. That's what's happening with women.
Oh my God.
It's women that are screwing us, or if it's man's lack of leadership that is manipulating the women, you know what I mean? And the reason why I say that is because I'm explaining it when I break down this comment that IROC wrote. Value the feminine role as much as men, and they won't want what men have. That sounds amazing, but it's not realistic. See, the problem is, and what it speaks to, and IROC, hear me out on this. What it speaks to is people can't control their ability to want what other people have rather than just being content and happy with what you have. And let me explain this. On a football team, everybody else from the outside looking in may not value the lineman or the backup quarterback as much as the quarterback, or as much as the wide receiver, as much as the running back. But the internal team knows. The team knows how valuable that left tackle is. That's why they get paid more than and as much as some quarterbacks. Obviously, the quarterback's going to get paid the most, but the left tackle may get paid more than the running back, and the running back scoring all the touchdowns. In my opinion, IROC, internally, I don't see a lot of men that don't appreciate, or let me not say that. I think that internally is not the problem of men appreciating women. I think there's a lot of men in relationships. In your relationship, the man appreciates his wife, his girlfriend. What I see happening is it's the external factors, us comparing everything to social media, to Instagram, to this, comparing our relationship to that relationship. That's where the problem comes in. So it's not enough for just a man to value his woman. The woman wants what everybody else has because they're intoxicated by the external factors. So when you look on a football team, the easiest way to break up a football team or to break up the culture that we talked about earlier, it's to try to convince. And this is why when teams win championships, the players on the team get big heads and it breaks it up because they want to go to other teams, because now other outside teams, external people, are telling those people that are supposed to be on the inside of that core team, hey, you're better than what you're getting paid. You're worth more than, why are they undervaluing you? You should be getting paid more. You should be getting celebrated more. You should be getting more credit for what you're doing. That's what's happening with women. And then what happens? You end up leaving. Kevin Durant, you leave the Golden State Warriors because you think you're bigger than what you are, and now you don't win. Kyrie Irving, you leave the Cleveland Cavaliers because you think you're bigger than what you are. And now you're speaking now from a more mature standpoint, saying, looking back, damn, I wish I could have worked this thing out with LeBron or approached it in a more mature way. But you're allowing the outside voices to convince you that you're not worth, or your role is not valued enough. It's not, men are not sitting here in relationships saying, hey, woman, your role isn't important. It's the external factors. It's the outside people. And that's because we are so intoxicated with what everybody else thinks about us rather than just being happy with what our man thinks about us. That's why when we'll go out, women will go out and try to look beautiful for the rest of the world. Beautiful for the rest of the world. Will post every picture, will take their time looking so sexy for the rest of Instagram. Dudes that they're not in a relationship, dudes that they don't even care about, they say. But then when it comes to their man, they won't be sexy with their man. They won't try to be attractive to their man. It's all about being intoxicated with the external factors that convince women that they want something outside of their role because they don't feel like it's being valued enough by other people, and they're really just getting finessed. That's just my opinion.
First and foremost, want to give a huge shout out to everybody that continues to tap in with us, like and subscribe and join our community. If you haven't already, please make sure that you do. We look forward to engaging in some dope convo with you that can help us all elevate. So like, subscribe, and maybe even share the video if you're feeling real generous. On that note, we'll let you get back to the video. See you soon. Ew.
Well, really, it's a good opinion to have, because to me, I think a lot of what we have today in younger women is they like that demonstration of exposure. Dental floss. Let me put it that way. They'll wear dental floss if they thought it looked good on them at a poolside. And I just got through telling one of my nephews this the other day. My wife, before I got married to her, she used to wear them tight girl shorts. Mm-hmm. One day I looked at her and I was like, where you going with those? And she looked at me and was like, I'm going to the store. No, the hell you ain't. Them is, I need a boyfriend shorts. You need to go put on some I got a husband shorts. And she knew exactly what I meant, went and changed.
They know. And they still do. They still will try you anyway. I've been in certain situations where I'm sitting here looking at what she got on and I'm like, She knows that she shouldn't be wearing that shit out. But she will test it, and then when you say something about it, it'll be a whole thing where it's like, oh, well, I'm just doing it. No, you know damn well you shouldn't be wearing that. But because society has convinced you, I told the story before of us I remember we were out in Super Bowl and this California clown talking about, I think the Uber driver, I think women should be allowed to wear whatever they want to wear. It's like, and see, this is the thing, even to your point. Damn, my fault. I cut you off. Go ahead. My fault.
No. What I was saying was, it's pretty much the same damn thing. I got a lot of nieces. Some of them, when, if they're going out at night, they may not, if they at my house or their mom's house, they might not wear what they gonna wear at the club out. They'll put that in their bag, go to their girlfriend house and put it on. Because and that there's one of the biggest problems that most people have, let's say in between the ages like 16 and 24, women will do stuff like that. Because by the time you're 24, and most women are out the house, because they, my mom used to say, two women that smelling their ass together ain't gonna stay in the same room. And my father,
say that again.
Two women that smelling their ass can't sit in the same
room together. Yep. Mm-hmm.
My father used to say, boy, if you want to be happy in life, marry an ugly woman. I'm glad I didn't follow up on that, but I'm sure I'd have been a lot happier.
Yo, you want to know what's crazy? I've had conversations like that with some of my homeboys. I've had those conversations, and it's not the beautiful woman, in my opinion. It's the fact that going along with current society. The current society and current culture is usually culture because it impacts the majority of people in a particular demographic. That's what makes it culture. People have to buy into it. If I'm talking about the things that I'm talking about and nobody else is listening and nobody else is pushing it, I can't say that, I'm setting the culture. No, I'm not. I'm just a loud voice in a big room and nobody get, you know what I mean? Like that's really all it is. But when you look at society and culture with what women have been finessed with in order to feel good about themselves. That's what more power, and everything is a pushback. Everything is, well, why can't I wear this? Well, why can't I do this? Well, why can't I do that? There's plenty of things that men are perfectly fine with the fact that we can't do. There's certain things that we can't do. It is what it is. That's called rules. But in my opinion, what I see it happening is women will bend rules. And this is what I'm looking at when I see the Adam and Eve story. Women will bend rules based on, they will rationalize what they want and then move the logic around that way, rather than what a man should be, which is, this is just the right thing to do, this is the principled thing to do, and that's what we're doing. Whether it benefits me or not, whether it hurts my son in his football game, it doesn't matter. That's the right thing to do. We got to teach lessons. There have to be certain rules that we're willing to live by. And I'm just observing. So that's what I said. People could say I'm sexist. People could say what it is. But when I look around and I look at all these people that are more religious than me, your Bible says it. Your books say it. The story of how Adam and Eve were created says it. So why is it sexist or whatever else? And I think Professor King, she had a couple comments saying that it's only sexist or it's only discrimination if it's unjust. I don't see what's unjust here. We are different. There's certain things that women need from men. There's certain things that men need from women. But
next time you go down to Georgia and you speak into Rick Ross, ask him, when he was a prison guard, what he would have preferred being around, men or women. Guaranteed, he'd tell you, oh, I ain't taking no women prisoners. Yeah, I ain't doing no women prisoners, because women prisoners are a hell of a lot more difficult than men prisoners. And
damn, I never even thought about that.
So when you think about society, there's a lot of parts of society that women hold a stronghold on that men don't. Because you say you're sexist. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, but you may have a different view and an opinion about the way some things are, and that's good. That's good. Everyone should have their own opinion. It's like assholes. Everybody got one. But the point to all of that is some people don't know where to stop with the game. Women play a lot of games, and they get taught those games in different than an eighth grade boy is not as smart as an 8th grade girl.
Facts.
Just saying. For real. Now, you might be in sports, but in the 8th grade, she's learning a whole new trade. You know what I'm saying? In today's times. And this is part of the problem that you're addressing, because of the way that kids are being raised. And it's become a societal issue, and women don't have the same household training that they would have had 30 years ago. It's common nowadays for you to see chicks just throwing it up. You know what I'm saying? They just brawling for no reason. Oh, girl, your hair better than mine. That type of stuff. We had them problems 30 years ago, but women didn't take advantage of it the same way they do today. And on that scale, it's just a big thing. You didn't have women truck drivers 30 years ago like you did today, but it's a sign of the times. You know what I'm saying? And you can't really put a term on it like you're being sexist or something like that on yourself to say that way, because it's just a new time, and a completely different generation of women that you're exposed to than I was exposed to. Women today, 9 times out of 10 of them, they would do some like dirty stuff in public only because they gonna get off on it more than them getting off. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you mean like sexual?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And 40 years ago, you might have found that, but she'd have looked at you like, oh no, we're not doing that here. You know what I'm saying? Oh no, we're not doing that here. But today, society has taught people to become a lot more ill-masculine to themselves. And what I mean by that is that a lot of young people, they don't respect themselves the same way older people respected themselves. They don't respect their rights. They don't respect your opinion. You know what I'm saying? Part of the problem that most people have today, that's like under 40, is they don't know how to communicate. And communication is key in life. I told this to my wife the other day. We was driving, and I was like, listen, I know your first language wasn't English. And she looked at me like, oh, what? And yeah, because what I'm telling you, you're not understanding. So apparently whatever I'm telling you, you just not getting it. So your first language couldn't be English.
Oh my God. Yeah. And sometimes it'll feel that way.
Yeah, but
and we're not bashing. And I want to be clear when I say, like, and I hope it's not coming across as bashing women. It's like, ladies, wake up. You are powerful. You do have a lot of influence. You do have the power to shift man's mind, just like we're highlighting in this story of Adam and Eve. So therefore, if you buy into something that would lead us all in a more positive direction, that would be very important for us. I remember an old on Kiss's album, on Jada Kiss's album, he I forget, I think it's the song with Mariah Carey. And he's like, I would play a song for you and you would let me know exactly how the ladies would respond from a woman's point of view. And then he said something like, because chicks buy records and dudes do what chicks do. Ladies, y'all have a lot of influence on the direction of where things go. In a lot of ways, the fellas, like, we're just out here. I don't know. Let's get back into the story, but that's my main thing. This is not a lack of power. This is just the difference in roles and us just embracing the roles that we are best suited for, especially during times that call it the most. And maybe, and before I press play on the story real quick, I did want to highlight what IROC wrote, which was World War II, women went into the workplace and were praised for holding down the businesses. When men came back, the ladies didn't want to go back to just being mothers when it wasn't a role as praised. I understand that. It feels good to be praised at something, especially something that you have not typically been praised at. But there has to be a certain level, in my opinion, of understanding that, hey, I know I'm the lineman. I know I'm the center. I know I'm the D tackle. I know I'm playing defense rather than offense. I know I'm not scoring the touchdowns. I know I may not get the same amount of praise as everybody else, but for the good of the team, I'm going to be exceptional in my role. That's what it comes down to for me. But let's press play. Let's keep going a little bit. Shout out to all y'all that are leaving some amazing comments. I think Mo, I'm trying to follow, and I know you linked with Mo. You guys were having some good dialogue on the last show.
Yeah, me and Mo,
I'm trying to
flashing.
Right, and I'm trying to come up with the most. Trying to read some comments. The governor has made it both parents have to work now just to make ends meet, which may be a great thing. And I think what we're it's almost like when they dangle pleasure in front of us, like you were talking about earlier, like the pleasure of all the things, like we find pleasure in the worst things. That's just how we've been, it's just been marketed to us. Maybe that's just the way it is. Maybe that's the story of Adam and Eve, the most pleasurable things, right? Because we can't have that. So it's always like, oh, I want that. The same thing that you're talking about with people being more sexual in public. It turns me on because I'm not supposed to do that. But, and I may have just lost my train of thought. But yeah, maybe that's a good reason for us to just press play, because there was a couple other things that I wanted to. Oh yeah, real quick. The reason why we had relationships maybe at a higher rate was because they were needed back then. Now, like Quee said earlier in the comments, we don't really need that. Women feel that they can work and take care of their own. They can do all bad by themselves, right? They'd rather be by themselves and have their apartment or have a roommate with their girlfriend than have this cheating ass dude. You know, that type of mindset. That's the mindset. So maybe with things where both people have to work, maybe that's the only thing that will force us into valuing a relationship with each other if we can't survive out here on our own. I don't know. I'm just kind of, throwing that out there, but let's press play. It's Dak. Just want to thank you for checking out our video and visiting the OG Network. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure that you give us a like. And if you're looking to join a community of inspired individuals striving for purposeful abundance, subscribe. And if you're feeling real generous, share the video with some friends and family. All right, I'll see y'all soon. Ew.